Hello, yellow fellows. It's Baldy Chris again. It's been a little while. It is time for more yellow sticker madness. The first in a little while, like I say. I didn't go to the shops just before Christmas. You can get yourself some good bargains then, but equally you can get stuck in the car park for an hour at a time. And according to Morrisons, which is where I went today, they had a fight there on Christmas Eve. People scrabbling over the yellow sticker deals. So anyway, not long back now. It's getting on for 9 o'clock. I think I got in the shop about 7. As people often ask me. I'm on the squash at the minute because I gave blood today. There we are. So I can't have a drink, at least if I follow the rules about the blood donation properly. So I'll put a link in the comments about donating blood for people who live in the UK if anyone's interested in doing it. Anyway, so yes, this is my first big shop for a little while, and you can do quite well after the festive season with getting stuff that is marked down that's kind of Christmassy themed or going out of date shortly after the Christmas period, and that's what happened today. So it's going to be quite a long video, so I'll say at the beginning, if you haven't already subscribed and would like to do so, that would be really nice of you, so thank you in advance if you do. Anyway, let's get cracking and see what we've got for the various bargains today. So we've got a sausage roll at just 14 pence, 90% off there. That's quite a long one, and then there were some shorter ones as well at 6p. There's a second 6p one there. So those are very likely going to be part of dinner tonight. The Ultimate Ploughman's Quiche Slice. I've almost run out of space on the kitchen counters here. That's again 90% off, down at 13p. That'll probably be lunch tomorrow, I should think. Again, this is going to be part of dinner tonight. It's going to be a bit of a sausage-based dinner. So we've got some battered sausages, a couple of them there, down at 45p, so about 80% off. Yeah, looks about right, 80% off. And I got a couple of those. Same pricing, 45p for the two there. I'm just going to move them up out of the way because I am running out of space here. And I got some cooked meats, assorted pieces as well. It could be a very mixed bag. Might all be one type. I don't know. It feels quite solid. I think it's going to be the end of one of the deli joints that they have. Again, 90% off. My favourite, down to 33p there. So what else do we have? We've got some pudding. Got more than one pudding, in fact, as it turns out. So I've got some of the little individual lemon meringue tarts at 22 pence each. So again, 90% off. Happy days. Another one got a little bit squished just with me bringing it home. Then I've got some stuff for the freezer as well. And hopefully I've got enough freezer space because there's quite a bit of stuff for the freezer. So I've got some of the plant-based burgers with the slightly clumsy name, as they often have, of "this isn't beef burgers." Surely it should be "these aren't beef burgers." There's more than one. So there are two in the packet. These were 90% off, down to 35 pence. I've got two packets of those. They are freezable. I will quickly double check whether they can be cooked from frozen. If I can read it through there. Doesn't look like they can be cooked from frozen, but they certainly can be frozen. So that's what's going to happen to those. And I've got some chicken as well, which, this is chicken. And what have we got? We've got some corn-fed chicken thigh fillets. That's down to 83p. So what is there? There's 330 grams in there, so it's a decent weight. That'll do for certainly one generous portion or two less generous portions. Can be fleshed out with something like chickpeas or some other vegetable. And what else? Some more chicken, again, free-range corn-fed thigh fillets, so slightly heavier weight that time, 93 pence that time. So what we're looking at there, about 75% off, I think, there. And they can, like I say, these can be frozen. That is definitely what's going to happen. And I've got some breast fillets as well. These ones aren't corn-fed. Again, you're looking at about 75% off there by the look of things, down to £1.04 for those ones. And these ones are corn-fed, so I think slightly less weight and slightly more pricey, but again, a decent reduction. So it certainly looks at about the 75% mark. I haven't worked it out exactly. for 130. So I'm going to have plenty of choice with chicken-based dishes out of the freezer, so long as I do actually remember to defrost them. What else do we have here? We've got some chicken livers. They had absolutely loads of these. Reasonably cheap to begin with, 90% off down to just 18 pence. And got 2 of those. And you can just about see the freezable mark there. So I think I'll probably try using those for something like a liver and bacon dish, something like that. Very, very traditional. At 18p, we'll give it a go. Wouldn't necessarily go for liver most of the time, but we'll give it a go. And what else do we have here? We've got some sweet potato mash, which again can be frozen. I think can be cooked from frozen as well. I'm not convinced that sweet potatoes are better than potatoes, but at 90% off I will give it a go. And like I say, these can be frozen. I think that is probably what will happen with those. Yeah, you can maybe just about see that it is freezable there. It's not coming into focus, I don't know why. Maybe it can't be cooked from frozen, I don't know. Anyway, we have that, so that will be for a future dinner. And in a similar vein, I've got yet more stuff for the freezer. It's got some sausages, some Irish style pork sausages. These are actually used by tomorrow rather than today. They're freezable again. Given that it is for tomorrow rather than today, I don't know why they reduced the price so much. That looks like 60% off if my maths is right. So in future I will be able to have several sausage casseroles, which I like a sausage casserole, so I'm happy with that. Then what else do we have? Like I say, not convinced that sweet potatoes are brilliant compared to potatoes. And when I was there, we got a whole bunch of the microwavable mash for tomorrow rather than today. So not quite as good a discount, but marked down to 38p. And this is, as you can see, freezable. And this can be cooked from frozen as well. So I got loads of those. You can see there's 6 there, and there's another 4 stacked up in the toaster behind. They wouldn't all stack in a gigantic pile. Absolutely loads of them. I did leave plenty, but they're just so convenient. At 38p, I'm not going to ignore those, so I didn't. So that's what I've got. What else? We have some fresh basil, which can probably go into one of the casseroles I was mentioning. That's where are we? That looks like, yeah, about 80% off, down to 17 pence. Looks a wee bit squished, but there, again, I think that was mostly from my own packing. From the back, the leaves still look pretty good there, so I can certainly use that in something. And I've got some rocket and baby leaf salad just to go with whatever I'm going to eat tonight, which, like I say, is going to be sausage and very likely mash as well. Just 9 pence there, 90% off. Happy days. Another one of the Christmas items here. Now, usually I would consider Brussels sprouts to be the devil's vegetable, but a lot of people tell me that they're actually really nice if you cook them with a bit of pancetta or whatever else, chestnuts, things like that. So these are with pancetta and maple butter, so I'll give these a go. I will try them. It may be that I simply ignore the sprouts and just eat maple butter basted pancetta bits. But I'll give them a try anyway. They are 90% off down at 30p, so those can be an accompaniment to a casserole later in the week. It is apparently used by today, but I'm sure it'll be fine for another day or two, pancetta being sort of pretty long life stuff after all. And then got a few more Christmassy bits and bobs. So I've got the fish chips and mushy pea bites, which were 90% off down at 25 pence. They sounded pretty nice. So nice and easy to make as well, and they can be frozen and I think potentially cooked from frozen as well. So I got myself 3 of those altogether, and in a similar vein, some melt in the middle mini fish cakes there. Again, those were 90% off, but pricier to begin with, so they're down at 50 pence there. So I'll probably put a couple of those to the test tonight, and put a couple in the freezer as well. And then I mentioned having a casserole. There was a stew pack there available. That's 80% off. So we've got a swede, a few carrots, a parsnip, and an onion, 25p. So yeah, I'll probably chop and freeze some of the carrots and use the rest in a casserole. And yeah, plenty of casserole-y stuff. So it's looking good for casseroles. What else do we have? We've got some corn, mozzarella and pesto escalopes. These are quite nice. Usually I think a little bit on the pricey side, but they're down all the way by 90% down to just 30p, so that's good news for me. And they are suitable for home freezing, so again, great news, that's where they're going. Another Christmassy thing here, we've got vegetable tempura nests with sweet chilli dip. So sweet chilli hiding in the middle, so there's actually only 8 of the nests rather than the 9 that it looks like. I thought those were pricey to begin with, in that they were £5, but they're down to just 50p and they can be frozen. So again, that's what's happening there. I do hope there's space in my freezer. What else do we have here? Right, we've got some tiffin bites. These don't need to be used up immediately. These are gluten, wheat and milk free. They're free of everything apparently, which I don't particularly require, but I'll give it a go. They sounded nice, and 75p. That's a nice little snack. Don't need to be had right away, so which is lucky because I've got plenty of stuff that does. Then I like a cereal bar in the morning rather than actually having breakfast at home. I don't know if these are suitable for adults as well as kids, but they were half price and they sounded nice enough. With mandarin and apple, I think they are, even though you can't see the full flavour from the yellow sticker itself. And yes, I am 3 years plus, so that's all right. What else? This is the sort of thing that I would have potentially as a pudding. I do usually avoid these sort of ones because they are, to my mind, just sugar, but they claim to be made with nothing but fruit. Yeah, those were half price, 1.43. So yeah, we'll chuck them over there with the other puddingy bits and pieces. What else do we have? We are getting near to the end, you'll be glad to hear. So some of you may have been for a loo break already. This is a long video compared to normal. I've just seen the timer at the bottom, so apologies. I did say it's going to be a long one. Right, they had absolutely loads of these. Managed to get a banana sticker on them as well, which I didn't mean to do. So we've got the best goose fat roast potatoes. I had loads and loads of them, and while I think £3's a little bit excessive, I'll take them at 30p. The annoying thing is that they were not suitable for home freezing, so I'll just have to use them at some point in the very near future. It does say use by. I don't really see that there's going to be a rush for them, particularly I'm sure they will be fine for a few days. After all, as I'm fond of saying, it doesn't turn to poison at midnight. So, a few more bits and pieces. I've got another pudding hiding in there, some goo cheesecakes, some plant-based cheesecakes here. These are chocolate and vanilla ones, and 90% off, down at just 25p, and you even get to keep a little glass ramekin as well if you can find a use for those, which I'm sure budding chefs can. I don't know that I've ever found a particular use for them, I must admit. And yeah, we've got a fair bit of bread as well. So we've got some soft wholemeal rolls. They were 80% off, I guess, 18p there, so very handy. Some of this will probably get put in the freezer as well. Bread does freeze pretty well. And we've got a Hovis rustic seeded bloomer, so very posh sounding. Usually meaning they take the chance to charge the earth for it, and yes they do at 190, but down all the way to 38p. 38p I think is entirely reasonable, so I will have it. Just got a Morrisons own wholemeal sliced loaf. And that was 80% off at 15p. So yeah, that will probably freeze. So we'll see. Some of it will get frozen. It does also depend on the capacity of the freezer. And I got again some gluten-free ones, which they like charging for gluten-free stuff to begin with. £2.50 for fruit buns with no gluten in them, whatever exactly gluten is. But at 25p, I'll have those. So they sound a little bit like hot cross buns. So a nice little snack to have at home, sort of breakfast, lunch, or just a little snack. And then, yeah, very, very near the end now. So we've got a whole variety of sizes of potatoes. We've got some miniature potatoes down to 20p. It does say on these that they'll keep longer in the fridge, I think. Some of them did somewhere. Maybe it wasn't these ones. I can't rightly remember. which was slightly surprising, as someone has commented on one of my videos before that you shouldn't put potatoes in the fridge, but I tend to. I'm not saying do what I do necessarily, but it's never done me any harm. We've got some bacon potatoes as well, so again, that's something that could go along with the casserole that I've been mentioning. They were just 14p, absolute bargain. I did also buy myself a chicken, a full rise chicken to roast later in the week as well, so they can go with that quite nicely as well. And then even more potatoes, which are baby potatoes, which are bigger than miniature. These were 24 pence as well, so I'm going to have to get creative with potato, because I've definitely got a lot of potato, and they can't freeze, so we'll see what we do with those. And then I got some fresh fruit as well, so I've got some easy peel sweet clementines down to just 10p. There's quite a few of them in the bag as well. One of them I think was a bit soft and squishy, so I'll have to chuck that out. But otherwise they all seemed fine. And then I got some large oranges as well, and those were, you can't quite see it, basically 90% off down to 22p, and there was 4 of them. However, I didn't check very carefully, and one of them, that one I think, is punctured and squishy, so that will have to get thrown away as well, or used immediately, I suppose. But still, 3 big oranges for 22p, can't really argue with that. So there we are, quite a mammoth haul today. I think this is probably my longest ever yellow sticker video, so if you are still watching, thank you for your patience in waiting all the way to the end, and I will add a reminder that if you like what you've seen, want some more of this on an approximately weekly basis, subscribe to the channel. That would be very good indeed, and as ever, like and share if you will. That would also be very helpful. If you want to get in touch in the comments, please do. I do read them all, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I'm able to. So that's it for this one. Take care of yourselves and have a happy new year if I don't do another video before then. Alright, ta-ra for now.